Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Bouncing Back with Brighton. Now in today's video we're going to face top of the table Liverpool. I think we're away from home as well, so that might be an incredibly difficult game. We'll follow that up with a home tie, a more winnable game against Aston Villa. But there has been 3 fixtures since the last time we met, so let's go and review them. The first of which is probably the result of the season, a 4-0 home win against Leeds United, who have already been in the Premier League for a season at this point. So they're not a newly promoted club, they are an established Premier League club at this point. I think they finished mid-table last season. Alexis McAllister gave us the lead in the 9th minute, Romoli got one, Wilson got one, who's done superbly in Knockyart's absence, might I add. And Martin Montoya got one as well after he came on just for Jayden Bogle, few minutes after he came on. And then reality sort of hit. We did a fully rotated side against Brentford in the 3rd round of the League Cup. As you'll remember, we got to the semi-finals last season in this competition. We have been knocked out of the 3rd round by Championship opposition, 1-0. Ollie Watkins getting the goal for them in the 47th minute. And a little bit disappointing from our second string. And finally, we had to battle hard for this point at home to Wolves. Dominic Solanke gave them a 1-0 lead. Harry Wilson equalised pretty much instantly, but then he got them back in front inside 28 minutes. Romoli ended up getting us level again in the 56th minute, and we did dominate from that point, but unfortunately we could not find the winner. And again, I was a little bit disappointed by the performance in this one. And after those set of fixtures, we sit comfortably in the 9th place of the Premier League. We could easily quickly fall down, we're only, what's that, 5 points off relegation zone, so by no means are we clear of that. But we're also not that far away from the European places either, so there's nothing to worry about on that score. We've got pretty much a bang average record, 3 wins, 3 draws, 2 defeats. You'll imagine that's going to be 3 defeats after this Liverpool game. Plus 4 goal difference is a positive though. And as I said, we do have some standout performance, particularly in Harry Wilson. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists from 5 starts in the Premier League. And 1 substitute appearance to his name as well. But he's been doing fantastic to the point where I think he's sort of taken Anthony Knockyart's position in the first 11. But not for today's game, as Harry Wilson is ineligible as he is on loan from Liverpool. So I think this is how we are going to line up for today's game. Jack Butland in goal, Bogle at right back, Alvarez and Sutar at centre back with Virgilion as our left back, Beluta and Gravenberch in the centre with Knockyart starting on the right. He has only recently returned from injury, but he's picked up the match conditioning quite quickly in the past couple of games. McAllister in behind Romoli with Alvarado on the left hand side. Now in terms of the bench, I think I'm relatively happy with that. Jack Grealish is still injured, he's been out for quite a while now. He was performing okay actually when he was fit, but as tends to be with Jack Grealish, he doesn't stay fit for long. So in terms of the Liverpool lineup, Firmino, Salah, Marilla. Who's Marilla? I have no idea who this guy is. Peleo Marilla, he looks an absolutely unbelievable player at 19 years old. Probably better suited to the centre, but they're playing him on the left in today's game, so we'll have to keep an eye out on that. Victor Bobson, he's a player that's always popped up on Football Manager this year, Wonderkid DM Brazilian. So he is now at Liverpool. Other than that, it's pretty much the exact same lineup you would see at the start of FM19. So we'll get into this and see how we get on. So as we've just seen from the Liverpool side, they have an incredibly talented squad. So it will be an absolute miracle if we had to get anything from today's game. But I think we play just as well against teams who are slightly or even much better than us. Purely down to, I think we surprise them a little bit in terms of our tactic, what they might not be used to playing. But Romoli tries to slip through Alvarado, but Gomez covers it nicely. The ball falls to Knockyart on the right hand side. Romoli's challenge and Robertson tries to set away that, I forgot his name already, whatever his name was on the left hand side. Mo Salah pinches the ball in the midfield and he sets Marilla away on the left hand side. Sutar clears. Can we get this ball under control? We can't. It looks like it's going to be Liverpool once again. Marilla on the left hand side. Alvarez cuts out the cross this time. And this highlight is taken forever. Romoli, though, he's in behind. He's got past 1 and 2. And right, listen. To me, that looked like a shot. Like the worst scuffed shot you would ever see. But Romoli gets the assist and Alvarado gets the goal. Now we'll take a look at this a little bit slower. And to me, well, maybe it was a pass. He did angle his foot a little bit. That just looked like such an unnatural crossing position. But we'll take it. We don't give a crap about how it goes in the back of the net. 1-0 up against Liverpool inside 5 minutes. Things have gone pretty quiet since the goal. A lot of the match starts going towards Liverpool now, but there is another highlight here, 32 minutes in. Lallana picks up the ball in the centre, plays in Firmino. looks like we're defending well, closing down quickly as well, which is nice to see. Reguilón now winning the ball from Mo Salah. Liverpool do retain possession incredibly well though, and the centre away Robertson free on that left hand side. Mo Salah's back post. Jack Butland somehow keeps that out and manages to stop Firmino following that up. That was a little bit unorthodox, but we'll take it. Another highlight now, we're in an advanced position. So let's see if we can hold possession for more than 2 seconds. Not yards in behind. Great save by Alisson. That was a hell of a strike as well. So we're getting opportunities. They might be keeping a lot more of the ball, but they're not breaking us down quite so easily. There's a highlight now. Not yet with a corner. Liverpool get the free kick. I was half open for a penalty. The goal scorer for today's game, Alvarado, has picked up and up. Izquierdo can come on that left-hand side, occupying the inside forward role rather than the winger role, which Alvarado does so well. We'll see how we get on with that. I think that's a big downgrade in terms of our first 11, and Alvarado is definitely one who would cause issues against any side. So we're going to have to be good here. Corner for Liverpool just after half-time. Firmino gets his head on it from a Lallana corner. He hits the bar and Liverpool are getting closer and closer. Jack Butland's having a great game. Bogle isn't having a great game in that right-back spot. I think I will probably get Montoya on here. Just a bit more of an experienced head. Probably better attributes as well. So we'll get him on. Marilla, that left wingers have been giving Bogle a terrible time. Time is ticking away here. I don't want to jinx it, and I've just jinxed it, and now we are. Lallana with the free kick, Firmino with the goal. I thought it was coming there. I knew I just shouldn't have spoke. If I didn't speak, Football Manager wouldn't have done this to me. But I did. Front post, easy as you like. Nobody really challenging Firmino at that front post, and unfortunately we find ourselves in at 1-1, well against the run of play with 10 minutes remaining. We really need to hold tight here, and hopefully with this substitution here, taking Gravenberch off and getting Chowdhury on, a bit more defensive option in the centre of midfield, we can keep things tight, and Romoli goes close for us. 7 minutes remain. Let's see what comes of the rest of this game. Knockyard set away through the centre by Chowdhury, tries to set through Romoli, but unfortunately, oh my days. It's happened to me. Usually it's against me, but it's actually happened for me. Alisson, it's one of them things. We've seen it in real life football. It's just weird seeing it on Football Manager. Van Dijk plays back Alisson, who literally smacks it off the head of Romoli, who will be concussed if this was real life. And we find ourselves 2-1 up. But that has just made my day. And this might ruin it. Fabinho with a free kick. Butland with a save. Getting on Milner. Get it cleared. We'll go very defensive for the last 4 minutes. Listen, boys. Liverpool are top of the league. Even if they were to score here, which they just have. Please be offside. It's not. It's not even going to VAR. I was just about to say, even with a draw, I would have been buzzing, but now it's happened. I'm not buzzing whatsoever. Last kick of the game. Lallana back post. Salah heads it down. Oh, come on, mate. Suter, come on. You've got to get yourself in between that. I mean, listen, a point away from home against Liverpool is absolutely fantastic. But we've just been robbed in the last kick of the game. And there we are. Liverpool 2, Brighton 2. I can't help but feel incredibly deflated. Well, there's the league table after that. We are sitting in 7th. We've played a lot of games compared to the likes of Tottenham and Leicester, who are both above us. But we've got Aston Villa next, 16th. So at home, it should technically be a winnable game. But we'll see how that goes. Right, so we're back for the Villa game. We have actually done a little bit of wheeling and dealing during this period. We've agreed a deal to sign Marko Bulat from Osijek. Let's go with that. A Croatian centre midfielder, Betzala, who can also play in the defensive midfield role and the attacking midfield role if we were desperate. Now, the main reason I signed him, and I'm not going to lie to you, so he had a minimum fee release clause of £6 million. He was rated 3-star, 4.5-star. And PSG were interested, so I thought, right, if PSG were interested, there must be something to this guy. And with him being able to play in the Metzala role and the Segunde Volante role in the defensive midfield position quite comfortably. He's 19 years old. With the situation with Jack Grealish in terms of his injuries and stuff, it's just untenable for me. I really want to move him on and move him on quickly. Hamza Chowdhury's filling in the central midfield spot when Gravenberch is not playing. And the defensive midfield spot when Balut is not playing. So getting this guy in gives me somebody who I want to develop, I want to give game time, and I want him to play in them positions. Whereas Chowdhury, I'm sort of doing it, even though I would rather not. And even if he turns into a first teamer, he would probably play in that centre midfield role, and I'll probably move Gravenberch up into the attack midfield role, which he's probably a little bit better suited to be quite honest, compared to the Metzola role in the centre of midfield. But that's a story for the second half of this season. For today, we have Aston Villa in the second game of today's episode. In terms of the starting lineup, I think this is how it's going to look. Jack Butland in goal, Bogle at right back, Alvarez and Suter at centre back with Virgilion as our left back, Tudor Baluta and Gravenberch in the centre. Harry Wilson's still recovering from his injury, so we're going to keep Nokia on the right hand side. McAllister and Alvarado completing the attacking midfield roles with Romoli leading the line. So a great point out last time against Liverpool. Today's game, we are expecting a win. Expecting is probably a big word. They've got Davy Proper, who was sold. And we know he's a good player. £22.5 million we got for him. John McGinn, he's decent on Football Manager. Not like out of this world or anything. But when he was in Scotland, he was always one of the bargains for the Championship. Fabio Barini, that's not so good for Villa. He's not a great player on Football Manager. Divock Origi probably be a lot better than this next year, thanks to his heroics in the Champions League. But I think we've got the better in terms of squad. Whether that means that we're going to actually get 3 points in today's game, who knows? This team can play out of its skin against the best teams and poorly against poor teams, so we'll just have to see. Highlight already, knocked out with a free kick. If he'd been fit all season, that's gone in the back of the net. Another highlight, another set piece by Nokia. It's cleared to McAllister on the edge. Sutar keeps possession. Nokia's driven into the box. Great save, but Alvarado was there following it up. Manages to beat the keeper at his near post. And we go 1-0 up. And Nokia again involved in the play. Coming from a set piece and then following it up after that. Sutar with a great challenge on McGinn. And then Nokia just driving past the defender. The keeper does make a decent save, but Alvarado makes no mistake. And we are 1-0 to the good. 12 minutes in, and there is another highlight. They've just gave us the ball straight away from a throw-in, which is one of my most hated things on Football Manager. Alvarado tries to set away Romoli, Kalinic claims. And we pick it up with Alvarado on the left-hand side, whips the ball in Romoli's back post. Them two are combining quite nicely going into the rest of the season. Romoli's starting to really turn a little bit. You know, he started quite slowly. It was a debate whether I should have been starting Joveljic over him because he was playing slightly better. But Romoli, in the past 4 or 5 games or so, has really turned it up. Him and Alvarado are combining wonderfully and gives us the 2-goal advantage. Highlight now, free kick from deep from Villa. He goes for goal, fair play, but nowhere near. Another highlight, knock you out with a free kick. You never know, maybe third time lucky. And that's it for the first half action. Brighton 2, Villa 0, Alvarado and Romoli with the goals. Happy days so far, you know, nothing going wrong. Let's just continue on and see how we get on in the second half. 35 minutes or so to go, and we do have possession. Romoli set away by McAllister down the right-hand side. He needs some support. There's not very many people forward. Not yard to Gravenberch. Poor pass, and Aston Villa can maybe break here unless we deal with this calmly, and we don't. Barini nips in ahead of Baluta, and Origi's now in behind. He takes a strike on Butland with a save that to get it out for a corner is actually a decent save. With half an hour to go, we will look to make some subs. Alvarez is struggling out there a little bit. Maybe drop him for next game, perhaps. Gravenberch is not having the greatest game, and he is struggling a little bit. I don't really want to bring on Chowdhury, but I feel like I have to. I don't really want to bring on Harry Wilson in centre midfield. I'd rather bring him on the right wing, which is actually what we're going to do right now. Nokia hasn't had the greatest game. He's on a yellow card. Pointless keeping him on the pitch whilst we are 2-0 to the good. 15 minutes or so to go. If we hang on to this, it will be a very valuable 3 points. Wilson with the free kick from the edge. See, we don't need Nokia for these set pieces. Harry Wilson can come on and do just that with his 5th goal of the season. An absolutely fantastic free kick from the edge of the box. No chance for the goalkeeper. Makes it 3-0. And this is pretty much all she wrote for today's game. And there it is. This will be the final play of the game. Referee, blow the full-time whistle, put Villa out of their misery. And there we are. Full-time, Brighton 3, Villa 0. A really, really confident, professional performance, which is exactly what you want when you're at home and you're against a side that you know you should be able to beat. And this is how things stand. After that game, we currently sit in 5th position, just above Tottenham, who have 2 games in hand on us. and again above Leicester, who have 3 games on hand on us, so we'll not be there for long. But it's nice sitting there, 3 points behind Man City. It's a good start for our first season back in the Premier League. Looking forward to the next episode. Part of me wanted to bring you Man City Chelsea, but that is never happening. We will play Bournemouth Man United. I'll tell you what, that's what we'll come back for. We'll have another winnable game and another not so winnable game, both away from home though, which makes it a lot more difficult. So we'll just have to see how things get on. Anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you are enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.